Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Stone Genius Podcast. Yeah, I'm wearing a tie again. And this time it did not take me 25 minutes. It still took me minutes. 20-ish. New personal record, let's say that, for post-stroke. Post-stroke, whatever. Post-stroke, yeah. Let's see, which one do I need to adjust one? Oh, good God. My God. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's the ticket. So you can't really see my tie, though. It is a Buccaneer Bucko Bruce tie, and it is navy, predominantly navy, with Bruce there. That's the original. So the pirate was based on Captain Morgan, who our daughter, our oldest, was named after. Different story. Captain Morgan, it doesn't matter. So anywhere I'm wearing a tie, I was able to tie it. I am wearing a waistcoat or vest, if you will. I was gonna wear a jacket, but I decided not to. And then I have taken gander of the wall behind me, and now I know what's gonna fit and not fit and where it's gonna fit. So there's gonna be some changes, maybe. I mean, in my head, I've already made him. I keep looking at myself. I am a pretty man. Oh, not live streaming today. So if you're like, hey, how did this show up? I always live stream. Well, guess what? I have found out that I can pause if I'm not live streaming. I haven't needed a pause until today. I have been trying for over a week to schedule my hip replacement surgery. It is been difficult to make contact with the person that I need to make contact with. So I think they were out of town last week, and now we're this week. Okay, we're gonna talk about family. Actually, we're gonna talk about my life. So there's 4 sections that I have written down, and they started on one page and then carried over to the other. So if you were to view my notebook, which you are right now because I'm showing you, this orange goes over to here, blue to here, pink, and then yellow. And that's really out of line. Generally, I'm a pink, yellow, orange, blue kind of guy. And if you're like, why? I don't know. Somewhere in my mind that makes sense. That was my friend. Hi. Yeah. Someone named the Stone Genius having a friend named Hi seems like it should be. That's pretty straightforward. Damn it. So I move I not only move the buttons, I color-ish coordinated the buttons. Like rim shot is red. Rim shot is red. Trombone is teal. What? Are you seeing where this is going? Okay. We're going to go a little bit off the rails here. Then we have applause, which is green. Hold on. Applause, which is green like an apple. Okay? So like a green apple, not a red apple, because then it doesn't make any sense. So it's a green apple. So once again, we had red for rim shot. We had teal for trombone. We had green for applause. Once again, green apple. And then we have orange for crickets. And then for record scratch, I have, because I'd already used red, so orange, blue. And I know if you're like, hey, the first 2 made a lot of sense. The third one was a stretch. But the 4th, 5th, and 6th didn't make any sense at all. 100%. And I only mentioned 2. I guess the 6th button on this board, this page, would be the theme song to Bobby, The Longest One Night Stand with Bobby and Roe. And so it doesn't really count. Now, I will mention, since I just mentioned the longest one night stand with Bobby and Roe, who I host with my beautiful and lovely wife, Bobby. Listen to that show. So now I did get lazy. Figure that one out. Go think about it. Go think about it and go, huh? Wow, you were lazy about something. Yeah, I was. I don't remember what I was talking about. So just like Narcissus saw his own reflection, maybe I don't need the monitor right underneath the camera. Like once I'm framed up, I should be able to not look at me. However, I do. Okay. Let's see. Let's just, whatever I was saying, maybe I'll get back to it. Maybe I won't. So the 4 sections that I had written about my life, this is how I broke down my life into 4 sections. And then it changed into a 5th section, question mark? 5.5 sections when I carried over to the next page. So I started with 4 sections, ended up with 5.5. So I did add a section and a half, but I did add it in the same amount of space, at least physically. Did I have something on my lip? Felt like I did. I mean, it didn't until I got my tongue on it, and then I was like, huh. And then it's like, when was the last time I ate something? Well, I ate waffles this morning. I've brushed since then. So, yeah. Let's see. So my 4 sections. Section number 1, and this section is the same on 1 and 2. So the carryover, still family. And it is the orange, which I'm leading with, which seems weird. My family's weird, so let's go with that. So we have family, and then we have sports and high school. So sports starting in early grade, like 2nd grade, and then going up through high school. And then that one continued to be sports and high school a little bit. So it's more sports. But we'll keep it, I mean, because it's the same. So then we go to, so that's a blue. So we go orange, family. Blue, we have sports and high school. Pink, we're going to have post high school until Bobby. Post high school until Bobby. There was some time there, 9 years. And then the new section 5 now, which actually this would be section 1, 2, 3, 4. This would be section 4 the way we're going, but I added it after I already had 4, so it's technically the 5th. Doesn't matter. I mean, it does to me. That's why I said it. The next section is Bobby. There's Bobby and then a thing and then more Bobby. I mean, it says Bobby again. Thank you, Bobby. Would probably be a better title, which I actually have written down there. And then we go back to the left page, intelligence. We'll talk about intelligence. And then my half is my carryover was intelligence plus blessings. So once again, the 5 are going to be family, sports in high school, post high school until Bobby, intelligence plus blessings. So here we go. Are you ready? I should have a drum roll or something. What do I have? I got nothing. How about over on that page? Nothing. How about this?
On your marks, get set, go!
Okay. And if you're watching me do that, yes, I contorted my face a little because it is hard with headphones on not to change your voice to match that voice. And that's not a voice you hear every day. Like, it's not like, hey, this is the voice. Like, if I was born with a different voice, that's not the voice I would choose. Even if everyone else sounded like that, I'd be like, I'm good. Thanks. Okay, so let's start with family. So we're going to start with my OG family, my original family. Her name's Linda. His name's David, we think. I'll get to that in a second. His name's Linda. His name's David. And they were the ones that made me. They were the ones that had unprotected sex or had sex and did not either use the contraception correctly, or I just watched Grease. So I remember the broken condom, even though it broke before he got on, blah, blah, blah. Anyway. So here is the thing about me and my birth. Like, I can understand why Linda and David decided to have sexual relations. Oh, and I'll get to David here in a second. Let's talk about this first, because I think it's David. And I'll get to that here. I really will. So beautiful people generally make, sometimes don't, generally make beautiful people. And so I'm sure that David, when he saw Linda this particular night, I'll give you the date in a second, and I don't know if this is true or not. I'm just looking at calendars and doing math. And you're of a certain age. She was in her early 20s. I believe he was a little bit older. And you bone your boss. So the date was most likely, not 100%, but in or around January 1st or New Year's Eve. So you could see where if maybe perhaps alcohol was introduced. You're already virile young adults, and this is what's made. So I mentioned David because I have only heard one side of the story. So I was told who my so I ended up meeting my birth mother, Linda. I've talked about her before on the podcast. I love her to death. I am so grateful that she had me and gave me up. I am very thankful and lucky for the life that I have. Remember that thing that I had blessings? We're going to get to it. So anyway, the story that I heard is that when she found out she was pregnant, and this is I was born in late 1967. So if there probably wasn't a lot of early detections and things, I don't know. Like, I don't know, like, if you could go and get a thing. I don't think they had early pregnancy tests and things like that. I don't even think they had molded plastic. Hold on. Red for rim shot. I'll remember that. If I look, at least 3. Red, teal, green apple. I'll probably get those 3 correct. 57% of the time. So over half, which for me is good. Okay. So the story that I was told is that when Linda found out that she was pregnant, the next time that her and David were to go on a date, and I would love to hear his side too. I've never heard it, so I need to say I've only heard one side of the story. This is all I've heard. It could be total BS. I've met Linda quite a few times. We have a relationship, so I don't think that it is, but whatever. Anyway, she said that he came over to pick her up. She said that he's pregnant without saying a word. She said that he turned around and left. She was kind of like baffled. What's going on? The next day before she left for work very early in the morning, and they worked for a worldwide banking system out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And so a attorney shows up, a lawyer for the bank, and says, hey, you're going to have to, abortion wasn't legal at that time. So it's like, you're going to have to move. We'll pay for everything. You'll have to live under assumed name, give the baby, give it up for adoption, blah, blah, yada, yada. And not talk of this, blah, blah. So that is what happened. That's how she ended up being a Floridian. She lives now north of Tampa. I was born in St. Petersburg, Florida. And Anywho, anyhow, anyway. So let's mention, since we're talking about family, and still talking about David at this point, that I reached out to someone. So when I got reached out to by Linda and her family, my half brother, half sister, I have nieces, nephews, all that. But when I was originally called, I already knew that I could have half brothers and half sisters. It just seemed like, it seemed like it would make sense. You're gonna have one baby, you might have another or two. And hey, Laura J. And so, anywho, anyhow, anyway, I always knew that. So when I don't know why in my mind I thought it was all right that I could reach out to someone of David's lineage, and just so anyway, I introduced myself. They were unaware. So Jay and Laura in Florida, they were aware that I was given up for adoption before they were born. Jocelyn did unaware. So I apologize for that. I handled that incorrectly. That had to be a shock. The thing is that when she told me about her mother with David, she, from what I understand, took my mother Linda's job, and it happened again. Whatever. It was the 60s. I've watched Mad Men, part of it. It's I think the bank may have said enough's enough. Maybe 2 is enough. Maybe it was more than just twice. I don't know. But it just sounded like the story with her mom and David sounded much like Linda and the story with David, except for the whole, oh, okay, well, I'm going to send you off, which is fine. I worked out well, I think. Maybe. I don't know. So that is Linda. That's David. Hold on. Green apple. I saw. Oh, that's good. In my mind, granted, I wrote it down. Anywho, anyhow, anyway. So there's David and Linda. Thank you for having sex that somehow ended up in me. Not in me, ended up being me, creating me. You created something special. I know that's me saying that about myself, but okay. So topic number 2, we're still on the left side. We're going to cover left side page first, then we'll go to the right side.
Then we'll go to the right side.
Okay, so Linda, David, so then the people that came and picked me up, now there's some debate here. So it was, let me tell the debate. So there was a debate. I thought I was like a normal adoption. Like I came to them like at 3 to 6 weeks and lived in a hospital run or something run for this agency that's finding families to match them, blah, blah, yada, yada. So I thought it was like 3 to 6 weeks before I came home. And my mom then, like a few years ago, says that I was 6 months old when they brought me home. Now, I wish that the church that I we were part of in Tampa was still there. It's no longer there. I remember the last time I went there, and this is it was a very old church. They were down to just a couple, maybe a couple dozen people. When me and our family visited, and this is 20 years ago, which is why the church is no longer there, but it's very old school. What I would say, just normal, like what my parents and grandparents did, like wrote everything down and put everything kind of like I do. Mine's kind of head related too. But I remember that they had a church library and they had every announcement from like bulletin ever. And so they were actually able to find the someone there was there when I was born. And I guess I was only in my mid 30s at this point. So, yeah. And so anyway, we went back and we looked, we found where the announcement was made that my parents had adopted me. I even remember reading it because it was funny. It said he wasn't expected, he was selected. So bad choices sometimes. Oh, hold on. Or no. Oh yeah. How did I forget that one? See, I've already forgotten green apple. Oh well. Let it go. Let it go. Get creepy. Okay. So I wasn't expected, I was selected. That's how they announced my adoption. Once again, I was either adopted like a normal baby or I was put into like MK Ultra for children and disappeared for 6 months. We don't know which. The second, the MK Ultra would explain a lot more of what's going on with me than everything else. Okay, let's see. Okay, my parents. I haven't mentioned names yet. So we had Linda and David, and then we have Hendra, Carlene, and Jimbo. So when Bobby and I would talk about my dad, we call him Jimbo. Not like making fun of him, just saying that, giving him a nickname. His name was Jim. James Jr. Yeah. So I don't understand, like, I mean, I guess my first dog, I looked through an encyclopedia until I saw a name that I liked. They had pictures. I was like, oh, I like that person. Oh, I like their last name. So I did it. So Hendra, which she doesn't go by. So I asked her this just yesterday because at 57 and pre or post stroke, I've never asked this. I was like, why do you go by Carlene, your middle name? So her first name's Hendra. And which I've never heard of. Like, Carlene is very rare to me. I've run across it, but very rarely. Hendra, like, I don't know. Like Hendra, I don't. So this is where Carlene, so they used two first names. They used, it was her granddad's, her grandparents, is their first names, her granddad's first names, which if you're like, so her granddad's first names were her, because I keep saying her and then granddad's. I know, yeah. Yeah, so Hendra Carlene is from Henry and Carl. Hold on. I do know where the crickets are now because I pushed it on more than one occasion. Yeah. Henry and Carl turn into Hendra Carlene. Now, I will tell you that my name, my first and middle name, are two middle names. They are my grandfathers, both grandfathers, paternal and fraternal, that I have their middle names as my first and middle name. Now, I wish that my grandfather Ting, I wish I would have, his real first name is Tingley. And he would go by Ting. And a lot of people always thought he was Asian. And he was not, is not. What we heard was French. I think I did some research right after my stroke. I think I was doing some like, history type and like genealogy. And I think he's like Champy, and it changed a couple times and ended up being Champy. That's the Americanized version of it. So I had Hendra Carlene and Jimbo. Amazing parents. Like literally, I couldn't ask for better. I didn't grow up with Linda. I love Linda. I think she's an amazing woman. She's raised two wonderful kids, which have wonderful children of their own, my nieces and nephews, which is weird because I never had nieces and nephews until all of a sudden I had a whole bunch of nieces and nephews. Speaking of which, I have a couple, Alexis and Avery. Your birthday's coming up. What's the date? So the 4th. So the day this is out, it will be the twins' birthday. I should know which one. It may even be 21. I hope it's not 21. If it is 21, happy 21st. I have a feeling, I don't know, man. I got to do some checking out. Crap. Oh, I can pause, can't I? I'm going to do that. Watch this. Okay, I'm back. That's kind of cool. I paused. So, yeah, 21st birthday. I will have to reach out to them. Laura, because I forgot. I apologize. I just missed your birthday. Briar, you got one coming up. Happy birthday to you. Clayton, I missed yours too. Linda, yeah, I wish you happy birthday. I think it was sometime around my strokey strokes. I mean, it was after that, but it was still time frame enough. I don't know. Dressing up. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, so we got Jim and Carlene. They were amazing parents. They worked their tails off. They provided well for my sister. I'll get to it here in a second. For us, my dad, I miss him so much. Here's the thing that I miss, not the most, but a lot, is that I wish that, not that we had a stroke at the same time, but like we can enjoy this together. And that sounds weird, but there's just stuff that I can tell Bobby about my stroke. I can go into as much detail as possible and she just won't get it. She will not understand. And that's not a fault of hers. No one would understand. A non-strokey would not understand. So it'd be fun to talk to him. Oh, I didn't even button this sleeve. Well, that's because I can't feel it. So I can't feel it if it's open. And I am using my good hand. So that's how long it should take me to button a shirt. I will tell you it did not take me that long. It took me a lot longer to button with this. We're working a lot with the hand. In fact, I got this new toy, which is literally a torture device. I mean, I'm pretty sure I could eat someone with that. It's an electrode. So I put it on my hand and it sends electrodes through, which makes my hand like spasm and do all these things. So that's fun. Okay. Jimbo. We would make fun of people. Not make fun. Yeah, we would. We would just talk strokey stuff. And I wish I could. And there was so much now that I never even thought to ask my dad while he was alive. And I apologize for that. I apologize that I did not see the last few years of his life as such a great blessing as that they really were. So anyway, man, I remember he would go hit me balls. I mean, they were great. They would try to, they would put me in every sport. I mean, I played the sport that was in season. That's what I was playing. Except for not hockey. I never played hockey. Except for soccer, which ended in 6th grade when my veterinarian, not then, now, broke my ankle. Because if I was in 6th grade playing my veterinarian, that would mean he would be a lot older than I am. And of course he'd break my ankle. Now, do I think Johnny did it on purpose? Probably not. I don't have any evidence suggesting that he did it on purpose. I do not have any evidence exonerating him either. That's all I can say. Anyway, my dad shoot baskets with me, hit balls to me. I mean, he was amazing. He would wear a baseball glove on one hand, have a bat in the other. He'd throw the ball up out of the baseball glove. So he's not even like just tossing it, like letting it go, hitting me pop flies. And then because I was shagging him, and so there was just the two of us, I would throw him, he would catch him with his glove and throw him up. I mean, amazing. Now, I will say, I was going to say he just hit these, after one after another, just right there to me. But I was always a very good fielder in baseball. And now in retrospect, maybe my dad wasn't as good as hitter as I remember. Maybe he was hitting them all over the place and I was having to run and sprint and dive and just make all these, like all my catches would have made like the top 10 on Sports Center. Like that could have been the case. I don't remember it being that way. I would like to say that he was hitting them near me or to me, but I would just shag flies, and he was always so much fun. I loved him. He was so much fun. I was very lucky to have him as my dad. Thank you, Jim, Jimbo, or Dad. Dad is how he's always known to me. The funniest thing ever, I probably can think of something funnier. But at the end, not near the end, but within the last few years, they were living at a retirement community, and we would go eat dinner with them once or twice a week, at least once a week. Generally, till the pandemic, we ate with them like every Thursday and Sunday. And then the pandemic, we couldn't even see them. And then it was a long time, and then we got in and we got it. It just became more challenging. And we did not do a good job of getting there as often as we probably should have. Luckily, I'm trying to do that with my mom, and I are trying to see each other more often. She's so busy there, and I can't do diddly squat that it's fine that I have not seen her a ton recently. But I mean, at least once a week. Came over, saw her twice this week, and she came over for dinner. My mom is amazing. She always pushed me to be the best. She always thought that I could be better than whatever I was demonstrating at that point, which may or may not have been the case. But her heart was always in the right place, and she was always pushing me. She was also the type that was fun. Like if you ask Mitch, my friend Mitch, what his favorite memory of my mom is, I know what it's going to be. There was a girl that I was dating, had been dating, and I broke up with her. I was, I think, a year older for her. And she had a bug, a VW bug. And this is like, not like a newer one. Remember, this is the 80s. So this is probably like a 70s bug that she's driving. And those things, once they got past like 5 years of life, I don't remember a lot of bugs being in great condition. Anyway, she pulled up. Mitch and I think, were in my bedroom getting ready to go to a movie at the mall that was literally behind my house. So you could walk out my back door, through my yard, jump the fence, walk 30 feet, go through. They had like this big fence so you couldn't see the mall or anything, but they made it where people that lived over there could walk through easily and not have to go all the way around. And so we're going to walk over and see a movie at the mall and at Metcalf South. I'm sure it would have been a fine movie at this point. And this is winter. Shit, this is way past high school. Because he may have been just home from school. Anyway, it was wintertime. I remember that it was cold. Anyway, she pulls up and comes to the door. Now, I'm pretty sure that the lighting dynamics may have changed or whatever. But I asked my mom, I go, hey, will you go tell her I'm not here? And my mom's like, I will not lie for you. Thanks, Carlene. I appreciate that. Yeah, that made my glasses cleaner. I'm trying to look. I don't have a glasses cleaner around. But I do have maybe a hanky that I haven't used. Maybe. Go for the corners. I don't know. Do I use the corners? I don't think so. Anywho, anyhow, anyway, I'm using it to either make my glasses cleaner or make snot all over them. I think they're better, so I don't think there was snot on my hanky. Which my Buccaneers hanky, even though it's not Bucko Bruce, it still goes. Anywho, anyhow, anyway, my mom's like, I will not lie for you. No, she sounds more like this.
I will not lie for you. I am a Christian woman, you sinner. I am not gonna lie to one of your whores.
Which, yeah, I think was a lot for her to say to me with my friend right there, but that almost verbatim. I mean, if the Bible can be written like way after the fact and remember the words, let's say I can remember these words. Hold on. Which one? Okay, I had to remember. I have to go through my head now and remember what this is not color coded. This is like 3 shades of red, whatever these buttons are.
What is this?
Ugh, that's horrible.
What is this? Oh, that's not too. Hey, wizard. This is how I feel like I sound to the women all the time. Hey, Bobby, how you doing, girl? Saw you from across the room.
And then we got this one, my mom. Okay, so she's like, I'm not lying for you. This is why you're going to hell, Rodney. Oh, I'm sorry. This is why you're going to hell, Rod. I almost called myself Ro. My mom, no. Rod, let's try this one more time. Take 3. I am not lying for you, Rod.
Wow. Okay. So she said she wouldn't lie for me. She wouldn't go to the door, open the door, and tell a white lie that I had already left for the movie. Nope, you just missed him. He left for a movie. No, whatever. Just missed him. Whatever. I mean, Mitch's car was there. My car was there. So anyway, once again.
I am not lying for you. I am a Christian woman. This is bullshit. Excuse my language. I'm a Christian woman.
I've never heard my mom cuss. I don't. My dad, that one time, when he laced all those obscenities together, that was awesome. I don't remember a lot of times that we spent together, but I remember that one. What the fuck, motherfucker?
What the fuck, motherfucker, are you doing to me, woman? Ow! Mother shit. I mean, there
were words I'd never heard before. Oh, I get to pause again. Oh, yeah. Hey, everyone. I'm back. That's pretty cool. I mean, I've live streamed, and because I don't announce my live streams when I'm going to do them in a timely manner, and it may just be like, oh, live stream. I opted not to live stream so I could pause. And that seems to have worked very well. I got my hip replacement surgery. So if you're keeping track, in a 10-month period, I'll find out the exact days and get those to you. But basically in a 10-month, 1-week period, I have had a major stroke. I have had knee replacement surgery, revision surgery, and then I'm going to have hip replacement surgery. So hold on. I got something for that. I even remember what it is. It's green like a green apple, gosh darn it, and it's going to get creepy. So because I found out all the information about my surgery, since I could pause this, I called Bobby to give her the dates and everything and the times. And I told her, hey, I'm doing my show. I talked about Lyndon David. I talked about Hendrik Carlene and Jimbo. And she goes, and what else? And I go, oh, that's it. And she goes, how long is it taking you? I go, 40 minutes. So you're welcome. Okay. So my parents were amazing. My mom, she wanted me to always be the best. Always push yourself. My sister. So we are both adopted, Jenny Jane and me. Jenny Jane is 18 months older than I am. And we had fun as children. We were always out. She was always out with her friends. I was always out with mine. Occasionally, I would be playing basketball in the driveway. The moon would come out while the sun was out and break a window. Hold on. So my sister and Lorraine Makovsky. Hi, Lorraine. They were doing something in her room. They thought it would be hilarious. And by they, probably my sister wanted to moon Tony. Or maybe Lorraine wanted to moon me. I don't know. Someone wanted to moon someone, they thought it would be hilarious. So they mooned us, but somehow, so they mooned us, and these are big windows back in the day. So this is a split story, side-by-side split, and so the bedrooms are above the garage. My friend Tony and I were playing basketball in the driveway, and we're one-on-one, we're going at it. And then my sister and Lorraine, Jenny Jane and Lorraine, they were BFF, or they were BTB, bathtub buddies. I don't know. I just remember that being a thing. I don't know. I should call right now and get clarification from my sister and put her on speakerphone and see if she answers. I wonder if she would. You know what? I've never tried this before, so I'm trying this right the heck gosh darn now. You know, they do that before. Hey, you're on the phone with Jibbity Jab Jibs Mics. Oh, I need to put her on my my favorites page. Her phone number has changed.
Hey, Rod.
Hey, what's up? Hey, I want you to know you're on my podcast right now, okay? I need to ask you a question. Okay. So hopefully they'll be able to hear you. So my question is, I'm talking about you and Lorraine Makovsky, and when you broke your window. And I also remember something about the term bathtub buddies with you and Lorraine.
That was me and Lorraine. But it was Lorraine.
Was
Because it was that big of a deal, and then our parents freaked the fuck out.
yeah, and your love for rainbows.
Except for my love of color,
Okay. So, well, I just remember that I was talking about this episode is about my life, and I'm talking about family, and I'm talking about you, and I was just talking about how you and Lorraine were mooning us, and then I was like, some reason I was thinking of bathtub buddies, but I didn't remember why. But that totally makes sense now, because you would have totally leaned into it. So, okay. Well, love you. Get back to work or whatever you're doing. Bye. There we go. Having live people on. That was my sister, Jenny. Hold on, we got something for that. I got you. It's only 45 minutes before I got to my sister. Lorraine. I was calling her Lorraine. Lorraine Makovsky. So I'm just glad neither one of them were injured. Although that would be an awesome. Could you imagine, like my sister Lorraine, like them like getting all hot and having a guy like, and then they see that scar and they're like, "What's that from, man?" Hold on.
What is that from?
Nope, that doesn't sound right. And then you were able to tell them, like, yeah, mooning some guys, some basketball players, because then you can change the whole thing. So we no longer have to be like young kids being funny. You could be like, I was mooning the USA Olympic team and the window shattered. I escaped with my life. Now, I don't know why Lorene or my sister would be speaking like that. Whatever. Jenny was funny. That was fun. And then I wrote, growing up was great. So my first section, I know we're 40 minutes into this. Get over it. You know I go a long time, which is what I say to Bobby. Growing up, great. Not there's no other words in there. Just 3 words, exclamation point. Growing up, great. That's what I did. I grew up great is what I did. I don't know why I needed to add that. I mean, I had an accent, I think, for a long time. There is video of me from John Humphrey. And I'm really enjoying my gum. I mean, it is amazing. And I had hair. That's why I watched that video. Don't care that's the amazing thing. That I sounded like that I chewed gum like that, and that girls still were like, yeah, I think that's the one. And I was not the one. I was only the one for one person, that was Bobby. Although there were a few that thought that I was the one too. There is a girl that I went out with, never kissed, we were fun. I totally friend zoned her. And we worked in the same mall. And so they were, hey, what are you doing? Nothing. Let's go out. So, and then one of her coworkers came by my store and said something to me and like, oh, how are you guys doing? I'm fine. Oh, are you guys going out tonight? And I was like, no, I have a date. And this girl was like, what? You're cheating. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And they were like, they're making it sound like we were almost getting married. And we were not. Friend zone. That's what I need. I need to make up a button that I can push that says friend zone. You've been friend zoned. I don't know why I need it for this show, but that would just be a fun button to have. You've been friend zoned. Let's see. Next. And should I go to the other side and then back and forth? Yeah. Let's finish off family. I mean, that doesn't sound good because that sounds more like I was going to say Jeffrey Dahmer, but it wasn't. It was the 2 kids. I can't remember something. They were the somethings. They were the Bobby would know. She knows all that stuff. I don't know. I know that they were on the Menendez twins. So here's how I had to come up with that. I had to think of a basketball card. I think it's John Stark's basketball card. Like right after, like not right after, I don't think. After their parents recently unaliveness, they were pictured, and it ended up being on his basketball card. They were in front row at a Knicks game, which I guess some people's families are not as good as mine. Remember, I wrote growing up great. I had Linda, not David. I haven't met him yet. So here's my thing with David. Going back to David, I would love to show up someday in the town where he resides, which I know his address, and show up dressed as Elf, like Will Ferrell's movie Elf, and sing the one part that I'm your son, and like I would love to do that. I just think because to me that would be hilarious. Like he may not and find it as funny as I don't know that to be true. I don't know that to be untrue. I just I think that would be hilarious. Okay, so what? Let's finish off the family. So then I wrote being adopted. So now we're on the right page for family. Being adopted, me versus Jenny. So me and Jenny saw being adopted very different. Like I didn't hold any animosity towards my parents. I looked for my parents. I just thought it'd be interesting. It's almost like I thought that I felt like I should be a world traveler, David. I'm just kidding. I believe that, yeah. Anyway, Jenny and I saw adoption very differently. She has not found her birth parents. She has not desired to find them, to my knowledge. I'm glad I did. I mean, I don't talk to Linda very often, but I am trying to do that more. It's just weird because I mean, I don't know what to talk about. Are we talking about current stuff? Are we talking about stuff through my life? I mean, do we have a time frame? I mean, I'd really, if you could send me some notes prior to our call, that'd be great. So sometimes I can feel when, like, if my finger, like, I may not feel my forehead. I can. Oh, that's right. Like, man, I can't feel this side. Yeah, no shit, I can't feel this side because this finger don't feel. But I got my electrodes, and they are weird. I mean, like, this is how people get tortured. Because part of me wants to put them on my balls, but not my balls. Like, balls, but not, like, I would like to be like, tell me what this tingle is like. But I don't want that to be me. Okay. So, family, I'm glad that we're now nearly an hour in and we're just going over across being adopted. We're cruising through this side, though, because this was all like, this was not like first thoughts. This was second and third thoughts. So these weren't even great. Raising an adopted child. Jimbo and Carlene, I think they had some challenges with me. I'm sorry. I used the word thing. They had some challenges with me. For those of you that know me are like, yeah, didn't see that one coming, huh? You should have. Oh, I can pause, can't I? Okay, I'm recording again. I'm back. Did I need a refresh? I'm sure I did something incorrect, but I don't know what. Let's type some stuff here while you're watching. Man, I cannot type word shizoli. Gosh dang. Okay, let's try this again. Oh my gosh. Wow. That's some good stuff right there. Having an adopted child has to be strange because, like, I see stuff in Trinity and Mo that I know 100% came from me. Didn't come from Bobby. She's not going to claim this stuff too, probably, most of it. I mean, they have a lot of good qualities from me, but they also have, they're part of me. So here's the thing. So I talked about it. So this was a question on the High IQ Society recently about being left-handed. And I said that I was made ambidextrous, but not by choice. I mean, I enjoy that now. Like everyone now is like, oh, you're ambidextrous. That works good. Well, I am dominant left hand. So with my stroke not being able to feel my right side, it does work out well. So when I write, I can write as well as I could prior to my stroke. But it's cool, like being if I had a stroke, I would have affected my left side. I would have still been able to write. Probably doesn't look as artistic, doesn't look as well, but I can still write, which most people cannot. So I can do almost everything right-handed. And in some things, I'm dominant right-handed, like throwing and doing some other things like that. So that was weird. And so that sounds cool now. I was a very fluent switch hitter because my dad really needed to teach me right-handed, but I wanted to be left-handed. So I just learned how to use my dominant side and do that. So I could throw both hands. When my senior year in basketball, and we'll get to sports, I dislocated and tore up my shoulder. I just sat there and shot. Like when the team was practicing, I would go to every single practice where I could have I played in 4 games. So I was out, got injured in 3rd game, came back the last game, basically just to get in the game, and then was pulled back out because I was still injured at that time. But I shot left-handed doing that, and I could. I mean, if I wouldn't have been all bandaged up and not been able to use my right arm, I could have still shot that way. Strong-willed. My mom did not understand. My parents didn't understand that. They grew up in an age and time where the child did what the child was told. They didn't want that. So they see that as being strong-willed. The next part, which is funny because I was reading my notes to Bobby because she doesn't often get to see them. And my notes to Bobby, I thought it said left-handed, strong-willed Hitler, which seems odd. All my friends growing up were Jewish. So for me to call myself Hitler seems weird. And then when I looked better, high IQ. That's what I mistook for Hitler. So not that. So my parents were very IQ average at best, I would say. My dad's was probably a little bit higher. Maybe why we communicated and communicated probably a little bit better than my mom and I. But that had to be hard. I mean, trying to teach someone to do something that you're not familiar with, aware of, being able to demonstrate proper technique when the mirror. Like, I don't think throwing left-handed and right-handed are the same. I don't. I'm sure that's me and my mechanics, but still. So that had to be hard. So you see that in him. Having an adopted sister. I mean, I was very sports inclined. She was not. My parents tried to get her into team activities. I remember there's a picture of her with her softball team. This was a very 1970s softball team. God, that was a great picture. I wish my parents wouldn't. They had thousands of pictures, and then why did you take them then? So that was difficult because she may wanted to hang out and talk about boys or do whatever girls do that's not outside in physical activity. And that's what I was outside doing. I mean, all of my friends growing up, they were friends because we could play sports together. I think I added was, because I did say it on the left side, which was the starting side, my grandparents and my aunts and uncles. Let's start aunts and uncles. So I had an aunt, two aunts, two uncles. All right. Yeah. Two aunts. I don't know. I can't do the math. I had aunts and uncles. I had aunt and uncle on that side. And then, yeah, aunt, uncle, 6. Whatever. The math. I don't see. This is the stuff that confuses and perplexes me. And why, if I had to take another test, they would probably kick me out of the society, which I would actually do for money. Be kicked out of the society is take a test if there was enough money involved. My aunts and uncles were great. They always cared about us. We usually lived in close proximity together. Tampa, we were all together. When we moved to Kansas City, me and our family and one of my aunts and uncles and cousins moved here to Kansas City. My other aunts and uncles and my grandparents moved to Wichita, so 3 hours away. So, and then they ended up all moving to Kansas City as well. So everything, like every single Labor Day, Memorial Day, 4th of July, whatever we were off, we would get together. If it was a day off from school, so my Aunt Susie worked at a bank, so it was a day off from school. She was usually off too, so she usually had she would take care of me generally or whatever. But it was just an amazing, amazing time to have them as my aunts and uncles. I loved it. My Uncle John, who just passed away, my dad's brother, he was awesome. So he was maybe the originator of the dad joke. I mean, he was telling them in the 70s. I know dad jokes have been around since dads have been around. I get that. However, I'm going to tell you, he always had a new one. Like you called, there was and you couldn't stop him. You couldn't say, John, I don't have time. He goes, oh, you have time. There's no reason to say, John, I don't have time, because John was going to make you have time. So, I was just going to say I remember one day with John, and I'm just writing down times because I like to do that. My cousin, I think it was my cousin Jean, and I went to see a movie, or me and one of my friends. I think it was my cousin Jean. And so my uncle John was here. I don't know why. I think he was just here by himself. I mean, maybe I saw a movie with Phil. I don't ever, that's a weird thing. Like on my mom's side of the family, like how I said everyone's close, my dad's side of the family was in Tulsa, Oklahoma, which when we were in Florida was a long ways away. But it wasn't, 5 hours. We moved. But that seemed like an eternity. It did. With cars back then and 55 mile an hour speed limit and a lot of things. I mean, I don't know. We just weren't. I don't ever remember doing anything on that side of the family with my cousins. I remember a couple times with the grandparents, but that was so. Let's talk about grandparents on my dad's side. Umpa and Umma. So Umma passed away on Christmas morning, 1977. That was very difficult for me. Won't get into it right now on this show. Let's talk about happy stuff. But they were awesome. So Umpa loved to, even on the night that my grandmother passed away. So she died Christmas morning very early. That night before, we went to church, probably midnight church. And I loved, he would sing a song. I went to the animal fair. The birds and beasts were there. By the light of the moon, the old baboon was coming his auburn hair. He would sing this song, but he would take his teeth out, his dentures out to do it. That's kind of what it sounded like. And I would just laugh and cackle, and I think it was funnier that his teeth came out and that it was almost like I was just learning that you ain't got teeth, you ain't going to be talking well. Which, if you've ever seen a crackhead or maybe a meth head, you'll understand my statement I just made. Anywho, anyhow, anyway, John picked us up in a van again, the VW van again. VWs were very popular. Anywho, anyhow, anyway, the VW van again. See, now I'm thinking I didn't finish the story. Anyway, John picked us up in a VW van again. We thought it was like a van, and we like didn't want to be seen in it. Now we'd be like, can we buy it from you? We'll fix it up and live out of it. I was just thinking about the VWs, so I'm not sure I finished the story with my mom. So she said that she wouldn't lie for us, which is true, she wouldn't. But she said, so there were these big windows, the ones that my sister, I'm tying shit in. You're welcome. Or together. The huge window that my sister put her ass through. And that I put an arm through as well. That's the strong-willed child in me. Like if you're staying outside, you could see into those windows, even upstairs. So she goes, well, I'll get on the ground and I'll crawl so she can't see us. So we crawled and went downstairs, and then we snuck out the back door and went. She may have been looking around the corner of the house and seen us. But that was my mom. That's what my mom did do. So VWs played a big part of my life, I guess, with the Vanagons as well. Uncle John was awesome. He passed within the last month, and just an awesome guy. I wasn't able to attend the funeral, having my stroke and stuff. Bobby has had to take a lot of work off because of me, unfortunately. So she doesn't get to use her fun time for herself, or her vacation time, her holiday time for herself. She gets to use it for me. My grandparents on the other side. So Umpa and Amma were great. I actually remember Umpa rolling down the hill. So Colonial Presbyterian Church, the original 95th and Warnell in Kansas City, Missouri, used to have this huge hill. They have now built a sanctuary that is built into where that was, this hill. And I remember him coming out of church with us on a nice, bright, sunny day, wearing his suit, and he tripped. I can't even tell you what he's wearing. It wasn't a suit. It was slacks and a sport coat. Black slacks and a herringbone checked sport coat with a white shirt and a tie. And he tripped and he fell and rolled down the hill. Now my grandfather Umpa was a very robust man. He was fat. He was big. I don't know how big. I remember as a child, I thought he was big. Now, I may not think he was big. The size that most people are now, I probably wouldn't think he was big. But at that point, he big, okay? And he rolled down that hill. Now, as a child, I'm trying to think of an age. If you're still considered a child or even a young adult, and you see your grandfather fall and roll. I mean, if I should have asked my sister Jenny, she would have laughed at that story too. Because he rolled down that hill. And I'm not sure as a child, before my laughter started, that I did any checking to see if my grandfather was all right. I loved him. And honestly, probably I was thinking, well, if something happens to him, that was a way to go out. I mean, it's always about the story. How did your grandfather die? Fell and rolled down a hill. What? Were you guys mountain climbing? No, coming out of church. Gosh. See, and this is where I wrote this. When I wrote this, I didn't even think about that. I didn't think about Umpa rolling down a hill. But man, that's funny. And I wouldn't do anything to stop it. If I could go back to that day, and I knew I was little me, mini me, and I was coming out of church, and I was like, Umpa, be careful, you're going to fall. I probably wouldn't have done that. I would have kept my mouth shut and get ready for the show. Boink. That's not what he sounded like. And I just, the fact that he came out unscathed, because, okay, I just had my knee done. But even before my stroke, if someone would have said, fall down and roll down this hill. Like, and I knew that I was going to fall down and roll down the hill. I still probably would not have done it. Now, I know that was not his choice to do it, but the fact that he came out unscathed is amazing to me in retrospect. Now that I'm of an age, because he was probably grandparents. Shit. I don't know, maybe 60? He couldn't be much older. He couldn't have been much older than I am currently. And there is not a soft mound of sand or marshmallows soft enough that I would fall down and roll down in. Now, I don't know where I would find a mound of marshmallows, but it sounds like a happy place. Or a place at least I'd like to visit. Maybe not stay permanently, but visit. So then we had Umpa and Amma passed away. Umpa passed away 7 years later, 1984, my sophomore year in high school. They were amazing. We got to spend more time with them because they came to Kansas City often than we probably got to spend with John and his family. I apologize to Phil and the rest of my cousins on that side that we were not close. And I apologize also that I missed your father's funeral. Your father was a great man. I loved Uncle John. I will miss his jokes. Mama Jane and Gramps. So then we had Mama Jane and Gramps, Tingley, if you will, and Martha Jane, which became Mama Jane. So Tingley was Gramps and Mama Jane. I don't know where, I guess people just called people Gramps back then. Hey, Gramps, what's up, Gramps? Gramps. So he was Gramps, and we had Gramps and Mama Jane. Although, if we would have done some variation of tingy ting ding dong, ting-a-ling a ding ding, something like that, that would have made more sense. I got his middle name as my first name. Tingley Champy, his middle name was Rodney. So I got Rodney. We're going to get to my name here in just a moment. So Ting and Martha Jane. Ting was a pastor for Christian churches, First Christian of Tampa is where he worked as the pastor. My grandmother, Mama Jane, was the organist. My mom, Hendrik Harleen, was the youth director. My dad, Jimbo, was the business administrator. So that was a thing. And that's Tampa First Christian. So good pictures from back then. That was a fun time. Then my dad decided to take a job in Kansas City. So Gramps and Mama Jane. Here are the things. Gramps was always funny. I remember. So this was one night, and I could find out probably the month, narrow it down to the month. Probably November, maybe even Thanksgiving holiday. I don't think it would be out till Christmas, although maybe it could have been. So whenever the movie Halloween came out, I'm going to check that while we're talking. Can I put in Halloween? It's 1978. I wonder when it came out. When was the release date for the movie Halloween? October 20. Yeah. October 25th, 1978. Okay. So I had just turned 11. My sister would have been 12, turning 13 in April. So she's 12. I'm 11. Once again, I just want you to understand our ages here. My sister is 12. I am 11. So, and I just remember this night. I got to get my sister on this podcast. So, the reason I asked when Halloween came out. So again, 12 is my sister and 11 is me. That's an R movie. 17. Back when that came out, I said that I thought for many years that was the scariest movie made for many, many years. Okay. And I don't think my sister would disagree. As a 12-year-old, my grandmother, Mama Jane, and let me put this into context here. I need to figure out how to put like little things here so I can put pictures here and edit. It won't happen for this show. My grandmother, Mama Jane, she looked like the lady from Poltergeist, the original Poltergeist. Now, you'd have to be a certain age, like 55 or older, to know what I'm talking about. My grandmother looked like the little lady from Poltergeist, the one that Kate got rid of the spirits or whatever, or is supposed to. Little tiny. So here's the thing. Being adopted, my adoptive mother, 5'2". And I say 2 like that. Definitely not 5'2" now. Probably 5'2" then. I don't know. I passed her like in 3rd grade. So, and I'm not kidding about that. So, anyway, she's 5'2". My grandmother, her mother, was 4'8". Hold on. Blue record scratch. Grandmother 4'8". Like literally, I have a picture of me. I don't. My mom does, of me with my grandparents and everything. But we're taken separately, and I think everyone was having to stand. Not everyone. I believe my sister and I believe Mama Jane stood on the fireplace to get like an extra foot, 12 inches, 18, however tall a fireplace normally is back then, where you could sit on the front of the fireplace. And she was still up to my shoulder. So she was a short woman. She loved strawberries. Her house smelled like strawberries. They lived in the tree house in North Carolina, outside of Christmount, North Carolina. We called it the tree house. It was a house. It was an octagon shaped. No, it was not. It was hexagon shaped, 6-sided. And it was built off the side of a mountain on stilts. So we called it the tree house because it was up in the mountain. So it looked, as you're driving up, all the trees are there, and then you see this tree. It doesn't matter. Anyway, a woman that used to babysit me when I was young, and her husband ended up buying that house when they retired, my grandmother's house, after she passed away, which was cool. So it's still around. I mean, still where I could go see it. But it always smelled like strawberries. I do remember that. Always. Oh, it just always smelled like strawberry. And she made cinnamon rolls. I mean, if people are waiting in heaven, like, if you get to heaven and it is not dissimilar from earth, which let's hope it is. Let's say it's not. And it better fucking smell like cinnamon rolls from Mama Jane. Because that's what I want first. If they're like, you could have anything when you get to heaven, Mama Jane, your cinnamon roll. Oh my gosh, she would make them. If you wanted to see me overindulge, and I don't overindulge in food at all. I overindulge on those. And my mom tried making them, and I spit them. I literally spit them out. They probably taste like soap. That's for Bobby. 135 for Bobby. 135 for Bobby. And I'll forget to tell her that, I'm sure. My mom made brownies once, and they tasted like soap. And then we found out that, I don't know, somehow dishes were not being rinsed properly. Hold on, I got a sound for that. Teal for a trombone. And actually being colorblind, partially colorblind, I don't know if that counts anymore, because I was colorblind in my right eye and I can't really see out of my right eye. So does it make it better or worse? Makes it something. I don't know what. Mama Jane was awesome. Gramps was, okay, I didn't finish. So the night, so the reason I was looking it up is movies were only out, 4 weeks, 6 weeks before they had to put another movie in. It was really popular, maybe 6 weeks, probably 4 weeks. So it's probably within the month after that. So I would probably say my parents were not there. So my thought is I don't have anything other than using my, and we'll get to intelligence probably, deductive reasoning to say that it was Thanksgiving break. We probably had, my guess is we had Thanksgiving down there, or we had Thanksgiving in Kansas City, and they took us back to, took us down to Pittsburgh. They were in Pittsburgh, Kansas at the time. So this is where my sister saw the movie Halloween as a 12-year-old. I don't know if there was discussion at all. Like, I'm sure they were like, we probably shouldn't take this guy that has a lot of energy to see a movie about a murderous little boy. Probably just a good thing not to take Tingley. Oh, that's right. They didn't name me that. Rodney. Probably not taking the movie, but we're going to take Jenny to that movie and scar her probably for life. So Mama Jane and Jenny. I would have loved to have sat in a chair facing them while they watched the movie. Like if I could see a mirror so I could see what was going on and watching their faces. And Jenny's a talker too. Like I talk during movies at home. I didn't at movies at theaters. So that Jenny's a talker. And Mama Jane, I am sure. So here is my thought that my sisters somehow talked Mama Jane. Like they were going to see, like, I don't know, Rumpelstiltskin or some stupid kid movie. The one Zippity Doo Dah. I don't know the name of that one. Zippity A. You know, like a cartoon, half human, like some, I don't know, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. But then when they got there, my sister decided to talk my grandmother, one of the greatest human beings of all time. Love you, Mama Jane. One of the greatest human beings of all time. My sister talked her into taking her to see the movie Halloween. I don't know if that's true. Until my sister corrects me, I'm going to go with this. My grandfather took me roller skate. Now, Pittsburgh, Kansas in 1978. I'm an 11-year-old. We're going roll. I liked roller skating. Roller skating on a weekend night is very different than roller skating on a weekend day with your friends where it's mostly young adults or kids. This was more like, and I remember my grandfather being a good skater. Like I remember like trying to have to show off for him. Like I got to show off my speed, or I got to show off some cut or some move that as an 11-year-old I already knew. I remember him. He wasn't just like trying to stay up. I'm not going to say he had his own skates, but I think it was his idea. Like, and I don't know why that was the alternative. Like, find a hill and make me run up and down it or something. I mean, I don't know why the alternative. And that's why I don't think that, or they didn't tell me. Like, they were like, hey, Jenny, you and Mom and Jade are going to go see Halloween, but don't tell your brother. Like, she wouldn't have told me. Like, if she was going to get to do something that I wasn't going to get to do, she sure as shit is going to do it. And then she's going to rub it in my face. Now, I will tell you, I would do the same exact thing to her. Now, I will blame her for this behavior because she is older and she should have known better the first. But let's get back to my sister, Jenny Jane, for a second, because I didn't even tell the story. Oh, my God. 141, the story. Sorry, I'm writing this down. I guess I could pause this. So, my parents own land in Bella Vista, Arkansas. I have talked about this before on this, but not the story, I don't think. So, Bella Vista, Arkansas, in the late 70s, when my parents bought a lot there that they were going to retire to someday, Northwest Arkansas, look at fucking up now, was nothing. It was just a nice place to retire to. So my parents had bought this lot. Being property owners gave them certain benefits. They could rent other houses of people that weren't there. That was nice. But we could play golf like I'm not kidding, like $2 as a property owner if you walked. And it was my dad. We were always walking. That was fine. I was fine with that. So anyway, they had these pools. So they had these community centers. And in fact, my sister and I were for one of them, and I don't remember what, when it opened, it was front page news for Bella Vista. It was front page news, and it was my sister and me. We were on the front page, which was just funny. So anyway, we grew up going summers to Bella Vista. We loved it. We went horseback riding, go-kart riding. We would go fishing at a trout farm. So yes, we caught fish. It's pretty easy. I mean, literally, it would be harder to try to not catch a fish. Like, I'll give you $1,000 if you can make it 10 minutes without, and you would just be like dipping your thing. It was a trout farm. I caught a lot of fish. I thought I was quite the fisherman until I found out what fishing was really like. Oh my gosh. This is going to be a long ass show, people. Because I'm going to jump back into fishing here with the Gramps here. I'm jumping back and forth. Anyway, so we're in Bella Vista, Arkansas, and we are having fun. That's the first place I ever did a flip off a diving board. It is, it was, I loved Bella Vista. In fact, I was mad that they finally sold their lot because they tried for, well, we're never going to move there. It's, it's not growing up. They said the area was growing up. Well, that was before this little Walmart that we would shop at in the next town over, which was Bentonville, Arkansas. We'd go from Little Rock. No, we wouldn't. From Bella Vista to Bentonville, which I believe is where Walmart was based out of. Oh gosh, there's so much. So anyway, we had so much fun down in these places down in Bella Vista, and we would go to the pool. And my parents weren't big for the pool, but I think they were either playing tennis. So this was times when you could take like a 7-year-old and an 8-year-old and drop them off at a pool and leave them at the pool. Different times, folks. I will say I would go back to them. Anyway, so we're at this pool and we meet another, I think, brother-sister combo. Roughly the same age. I'm going to say brother-sister combo because we were playing chicken. And so I was on the bottom. My sister was on the top. My sister's smaller. So we're playing chicken. Oh, you guys are going to love this story. I can't believe I buried this story again. An hour and 45 minutes. I got to write that down. Big letters, 145. Because you all need to know this story. So my sister and I are playing chicken with another, I'm assuming, young people. So we're playing chicken, my sister and everything. And I don't know if this is our first match. I can't remember how much chicken has been played. I just know, my sister will laugh at this. I just know that this was the moment that I never played chicken again. Okay? So we're playing chicken, my sister and I. We were in mortal combat with whomever. Probably trolls. I mean, I can't even picture them. This is how, if you want to know PTSD as a child, this is it. Just wait. It's coming. I keep just pushing the button because there's a lot of scratching. So I'm holding her legs like this, I think. So I'm holding like this so she stays on. She has her legs around. I'm holding on. She's fighting and stuff. And then all of a sudden, my neck starts getting warm. And I'm just going to wait a second and let that sink in. So I have someone on my shoulders, legs over my shoulders, feet probably wrapped around my back. We're playing chicken. We're in chicken combat form. We are, okay. That's what I can't, because I'm holding my sister like this and we're young, but I'm big and she's mean. As you're going to find out, she's mean to her brother. If you want to know why we weren't really close, maybe this is it. I'm going to say if you're a youth listening to this, do not do this to your sibling unless you are looking to not have a close relationship. So we're playing chicken. We're in Mortal Kombat. I'm focused trying to make sure, don't fall off. Whoever falls off, I want to make sure she doesn't fall off, whatever the rules are. It's chicken. And my neck starts getting warm. Once again, someone sitting, legs over, my neck starts getting warm. And then my neck continues and my shoulder in front of my chest starts getting warm. And then I hear the pitter patter of water. And that's a euphemism. I hear a liquid splashing into the water. That's when I realized that my sister was peeing on me. I mean, so I'm like, you're peeing. So I have to announce because she's peeing on me. And then I remember, and then she has her feet hooked around me. Like she is like if you've ever rode one of those mechanical bowls, that I was the mechanical bowl and she was trying to stay on. The only difference was she was peeing on me while she was trying to stay on. Okay? So as she's peeing on me and cackling, like, I don't know what a cackle is exactly. I can't recreate the cackle. But if I was to say there was an exact definition, an audible definition of the word cackle, it would have been my sister as she was peeing. And she was not like, this wasn't like a half bladder type thing. This was like an empty the bladder. Like we got like too many snow cones and my parents weren't paying attention or drank too much Kool-Aid. This was the 70s. So I don't know what we had to drink. I mean, we were limited. It was water or Kool-Aid, which was basically flavored water. So anyway, my sister is peeing on me in a public pool, cackling as I am fighting to get her off. So I'm fighting. She has her legs, and I remember throwing her into the water, and she probably swallowed water because she was still cackling as she went beneath the surface. I should have held her down. That should have been the end of it. I mean, it's the 70s. You really think I'm going in front of some judge in Arkansas? And I'd be like, she was peeing on me. He's like, boy, she was peeing on you. You should have done whatever you needed to do. And you're welcome. There is no soundboard there. That was me doing all that, including the faces. Hold on. Okay, so we've got through family, and it's only been 2 hours. Do you know how many more sections we have? 3. And I'm going to push through it. I got nothing else to do today. I was going to play video games while sitting in my lazy boy naked, probably icing my foot and or leg. Let's see. This ain't going, it's not getting any faster. Like if you thought like me talking just about my family took a long time, I'm about to talk about black women and black girls. Okay. Let me just hold on. If you think that my stories or love for my family is matched or exceeded to black women, you are sorely incorrect. And they're coming. And if you're like, hold on, there wasn't a section called, when you were telling us about sections and you guys were getting all excited for this show, you guys were not like, oh, I hope like of all these sections, I hope that this one's the best or that one. And then I didn't even mention a section for black women. Like that was not a section. Like it was post high school, it was Bobby, sports in high school, like intelligence, family, which I've already did. There's nothing, but I'm getting there. It starts in high school. I should have like creepy music. That is not creepy music. I do like those. Get down. Get down with your bad self. It's only half done. Hey, that's the longest one night stand with Bobby and Roe. Listen to it. I should do a lot of this on that show. Then this wouldn't be a 5-hour show. I am literally going to push the limits and see if I can hit my all-time longest show at 3 hours and 54 minutes, which honestly is either my second or first most popular show. I haven't checked the stats lately. So it was me and 4 drunk women, and it was out of control. Like, out of control. Let's see. What do I want to finish off in family real quick? I was always considered the troublemaker. One story, 2 stories. Not 2 stories. A comment about something and then a story. So I believe it was my sister's graduation. So we had all these people over. We had a big cookout. We had recently debuted our new deck, I believe. We had this huge deck my dad built, and myself and our neighbor Tony actually helped, who was a year older than me, helped a lot more than me. Which my dad appreciated. I'm sure Tony appreciated that, and I appreciated not having to do the deck. So it's still there. You can still see it from the front. It was it's massive. Like, if it got rotten or someone, they are not replacing that deck. It had built-in benches all the way around. It was amazing. It was great and amazing. So anyway, I believe my sister, I'm going to say it's my sister's graduation. And so someone wanted to put mustard on their hot dog, and the top popped off, and everyone's, oh my gosh, and a hot dog is ruined because the mustard came in. And so everyone, like, I remember my grandfather saying Rod, because of course they thought it was me, because I'm laughing hysterically. I think that's hilarious. All over your hand, all over everything. I'm like, I didn't do it. And everyone's like, come on. And they're all thinking I did it. So then they go in and they get another hot dog and they come out. I don't know what they did. Knowing our family and how they don't like to waste stuff, they probably wiped all the excess mustard off. And then she went to put ketchup on, or vice versa. And the lid pops off and they yell at me again. And I got so mad. I'm like, I had nothing to do with it. So the deal was, my mom had bought she had bought like restaurant style ketchup holders, like, so that you put the ketchup in it. So a red one and a yellow one, which is fine. Problem is, when you buy those brand new, the tops, you have to cut the tops off so the ketchup or mustard comes out. It was not cut, which is why when you squeezed it, the top popped off. So it was not my fault. It was my mom's fault. Or dad's. Either parent. Whoever was in charge of purchasing and making sure that they got from purchase to tabletop in the way they were supposed to. So once it was identified that it was not me that did it, there was never an apology issued. That was kind of, yeah. Anyway, I think I was going to say something else. I don't know what it was. Oh, yeah. Okay, sports in high school. We're on to part 2. We're 2 hours in. I feel like I should take a smoke break. I wonder how long this will let me pause. I'm going to do that. I'm going to go take a smoke break, and I may or may not be back. We'll see. I may get spoiled with this whole Paul's thing. You'll see that I am no longer wearing my vest or waistcoat, and I am no longer wearing a tie. So I went outside and smoked. I got something to eat, and I'm back. And I did call Bobby. I told her that I am done with Section 1 family. And she suggested I break this up into multiple shows. which is probably best being at the 2-hour mark. So we're going to do that. So this was show number 399. Hold on. I got something for that. A lot of shows get to 399. And we're going to get to 400, hopefully. So I have already started writing 400. It's going to be different from this. So if I would have known this was going to turn into an 8-hour spectacular, then I would have done something different. I would have started this series on 400. And I didn't. I did not think that was going to take 2 hours to just talk about my family. And once again, sports in high school. And here are just some of the bullet points. Having a black name, me. So there, and I'll mention this again when I shoot this. No, I won't. We'll talk about that. Having a black name for girls and for sports. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about a lot of stuff. And then we have post-high school. Yeah. So here is my thing. I was going to go on because I was going to push the limits. I was going to see how long this show could be. Like me talking, I would be great at filibustering something. Because I just think I could talk. Whatever. I'll talk. But yeah, this was going to be, I didn't think it was going to be this long talking about my family. I thought, yeah, even if it was just half, like if I wouldn't have done that second part, like aunts and uncles, they're out. Me being left-handed, blah, blah, all that stuff out. There wasn't that much. This is the first part, the growing up great part. Growing up was great. Okay. So this was episode 399. We're going to wrap it up. We're going to have episode 400 will be a one-off. Not a one-off. It'll just be a show. I've already started writing it. Some of my favorite topics in it. Number 400. So let's see. And then we'll have 401, 402, 403. Wow, that will be easy. I don't know. I don't know if I will need. I will probably, if this was 2 hours, I cannot expect the rest of this. Like, it would be funny if I tried to do like the next section and I could do the rest of this in like 10 minutes and could have wrapped up. I don't think I can. So anyway, I'm not going to. So 401 will be sports in high school, at least. Will it go over to post high school until Bobby and then even Bobby? I don't know. I doubt it. I highly doubt it. No way I get to intelligence. If I get through all of that, I could have finished this and done a 3-hour show and left it at that. Thing I was also concerned about, if this ended up being like a long show, like a 5-hour show, the downloading for me, just like on that, the waiting and blah, blah. You know, it's always about me, which it is. Anyway, anywho, so this was just family. So that'll make it easier. So my life should have been the title, but my family. So now I'll be able to change. I'll have to cross out the title again to my family. Anywho, anyhow, anyway, my name's Ro. I'm not going to do pause this time. I'm going to hit stop. You've been listening to the Stone Genius. This was just part one of a, let's say, multi-part. Let's just leave it at that. Multi meaning 2 or more. So this is a multi-part something podcast, theme thing, do whatever, something. I'm not having a stroke right now. Like if Bobby's listening to that part, she'd be like, is he having a stroke right now? I am not. Let's see. So I wrapped that up. So if I would have known I was going to wrap it up too, I wouldn't have had to go outside and smoke. I would have had to, I mean, so I was just going to dress down. I was like, if this is going to be 6 hours, I could do it wearing, and I shouldn't have. I should have left it on. Anyway. Next will at least be sports in high school. Sports in high school. Not on the next. The next one's 400. On the next, which would be 401. On the next, you'll see me talking about something. Hold on. I'm going to try to find stop real quick. Me talking about sports in high school and then the others. I don't think I'm going to be able to combine it. But the nice thing is I already have it written. So I can keep coming back. I don't have to do any more writing. I can finish writing 400, which I haven't finished. But I don't have to do any more writing for 3 shows. So, yeah. And time to do some weird stuff. Don't know what that means. Thanks for listening to the podcast. My name's Ro. You've spent 2 hours of your time with me. I appreciate it. I talked about my family. I'm 2 middle names. I guess, whatever. I mean, at least I'm not a female named after 2 dudes. Like, why you're named after your grandfathers and not your grandmothers, I don't understand. Henry and Carl became Hendrik Carlene. What were the ladies' names? I mean, how awful were they that you didn't? Whatever. I should ask my mom that. I probably will forget, but I'll try my best. You guys, I'm Ro. I'm the Stone Genius. Thanks for listening. I'm trying to look at the stop button. Bye.